What's going on, everyone? It's time to talk about another Shudder exclusive film. Today we're going to be talking about See For Me, which is an odd film to say the least. It's a Shudder exclusive, so you can find it on Shudder. This isn't sponsored by them, but anyways, I just like promoting companies I like, so I'm going to talk about one of theirs. It was released January 7th, 2022 originally, and it was directed by Randall Akita, who's done films like The Book of Distance, The Lockpicker, The Weatherman, and The Shadow Boxer, and Portrait as a Random Act of Violence, to name a few films that he's done. Um, yeah. So, See For Me. This is a home invasion movie with someone who has like a different like a problem. So this girl's like somewhat blind, and she uses an app, well, like sort of like Skype and stuff, where she talks to her friends and then gets them to show her around somewhat. And they use for this format, and then put a home invasion at the same time. So there's weird things that are happening in her house. She's not sure what's going on, so she calls like sort of like a helpline, and they look around, and then you see like people like invade her home basically, and it's up to her to fight them off and try to hold her ground until help arrives. This film runs sort of similar to the movie Hush. If you've ever seen that, that's a deaf girl who is actually at home and someone breaks into her house and tries to kill her. This one's sort of similar to that, just a little bit different. And yeah, it's your run of the mill home invasion movie with someone with some sort of disability, I guess you could call it. And, but holding them down, but overcoming their disability and standing up for themselves, which is good and all, but we've seen all that before. So it was well acted, well written. The cinematography is actually pretty good in this too, and yeah, I like the look of it. I just wish the story was a little more interesting because it was boring as hell for the first half. It was more like they tried to flesh out the characters enough, but they just talked about pointless stuff, and it just went on and on and on. Once the home invasion, ideal type stuff hacked, once the meat of the actual movie gets going, it's all right, but it's all been done before, and we've seen them all, this type of stuff, and it has the most basic ending ever. Like, does no one know how to write movies anymore? Like, make something interesting, throw something weird in there. I know a lot of companies want you to play it safe and make everything cookie cutter and perfect, but that's not how you're going to grasp an audience nowadays. This was run of the mill home invasion film done with a disability, which has been done multiple times so far. So I wasn't really too impressed with it, to be honest. I thought it was pretty boring, standard affair. So with that, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 because not much else to talk about this one. It's just standard, and it was quite the disappointment. I'm always looking for something slightly weird and odd and interesting to talk about, but this had nothing of it. So I'm basically just making this video to tell you to stay away from it. It's not like the acting and the story, like the acting, cinematography, and everything's fine, but it's just if you want, unless you absolutely love home invasion movies, this is going to be like a basic random time waster for you. So if that's what you're looking for, great. But I was looking for something a little more in depth and weird and something slightly different, which is not what I got. So according to the trailer, it looked like it would, but it was a run of the mill style. So that's why I'm giving this a 2.5 out of 5. There's a trailer link down below, like always, if it sounds like something you're interested in. Also, link down below is my Instagram. It's where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future. All my stories should have the film title hashtag and the subject of film hashtag, so you're aware of it. My Letterbox is also down below at Derek P. Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating after watching the films. So follow me on one of those two platforms and stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. If you have any Shudder films on Shudder that you want to hear my opinions on as well, you can comment those down below too, or any films in general. I'll watch any genre. Comment those down below. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. And yeah, and also if you have Shudder, look for my name, Derek Peterson, with no spaces. I usually post a comment and a discovery right after watching the films on there, and I usually get to do that first before I do these. So, yeah, look for me in the comment section, on Shudder as well. And yeah, make sure you subscribe, because hopefully we find something weird, scary, and odd, somewhat like this, that you probably never thought of checking out together. So, or so hear my opinions on popular films that are coming out at the time, classic films as well, and reviews on other things as well. So make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell, because, well, we're going to be going into something a little odd, more 60s epic films, as I'm going to check out Lawrence of Arabia, which I've seen like 20 times, but I like it so much. I'm going to talk about that in the next one to change it up for a bit, since clearly Netflix and Shudder haven't posted anything interesting, and I must go back to the classics to find something interesting. So we'll do that. But in the meantime, make sure you watch out for all those hooligans breaking into people's homes, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.